15 ways to work with Hecate. Whether you've chosen Hecate as your mother goddess or not, she's a powerful goddess to work with in your magical practice. She's especially loved by witches, herbalists, diviners, healers, shamans, and midwives. So if you're any of these, lucky you. There are many ways to work with the goddess of Crossroads, but here are our favorites. Number 1. Say her name right. The pronunciation of Hecate's name has gotten messed up and changed over the years. But there is a right way to say her name. Most people say it Hecate or Hecate without stressing the middle syllable. But in ancient times, her name was pronounced like this with stress on the middle syllable. Hecate or Hecate. Practice saying it out loud a few times. Feel the difference? It's a simple way to honor the witch's goddess. Number 2. Dedicate the altar space to Hecate. Because Hecate is the queen of witches, she loves to have her own altar or altar space in a witch's home. Things you can add: a statue of her or a key, a cauldron, a knife, a broom, dog figurines, decorations with stars and moons, anything black or red. Cleanse and consecrate the space and tools in Hecate's name to begin with. Then cleanse and charge again every month on the dark moon. Your altar can be simple at first, but it will grow over time. Number 3. Altar offerings to Hecate. In addition to holding space for her, making offerings is another great way to work with her. Every god or goddess we work with in our practice needs some energy exchange through offerings. Hecate is no different. Here are some offerings she likes: pomegranates, lavender, dishes with garlic, dates, eggs, honey, crescent breads and sweets, candle flame and incense. Like most other gods, Hecate also loves intangible offerings such as painting, poetry, song, dance, prayer, chanting, etc. Whatever you like to do creatively, let your creative juices flow and create something for Hecate. Number 4. Rituals at the Crossroads. Because Hecate is the ruler of Crossroads, rituals performed at Crossroads honor and invoke her energy. If you live in an urban area, it may be difficult to find a three-way intersection to perform the ritual. In this case, mark a three-way intersection on the ground with large branches as a symbolic crossroads. Otherwise, candle spells, invocations and offerings at the three-way intersection are a powerful way to call upon her. Don't forget to collect a bit of the soil of the intersection and use it in your Hecate rituals, meditations and more. Number 5. Caring for dogs. Hecate's most sacred and beloved animal is the dog. When you care for our canine friends, do so in Hecate's name. She will bless you and your dogs or any dogs you care for. You can also call upon Hecate to protect your dog from harm. If you don't have a dog, donate your time or old blankets, dog food, etc. to a local animal shelter. And let Hecate know you are doing this in her name. This is not just for dogs, but for any type of canine species. Number 6. Feasts for Hecate. A fun and traditional way to honor the goddess of life and death is to host a dinner party or feast for her. In ancient times, priestesses of Hecate held large parties in her name and cooked her favorite foods. Include lavender, honey, eggs, and garlic in your dishes. Red wine and mead are traditional. Set a place at the table for your goddess or place a plate on her altar. Number 7. Study herbs. Hecate is the goddess of magic and was especially known for her herbal knowledge. Sources say that her temple in Colchis, modern-day Georgia, had a sacred garden dedicated to Hecate. This garden would have contained her sacred trees, herbs, and poisons. Study medicinal and magical herbalism and become one of Hecate's priestesses. By growing and harvesting your own herbs, you are recreating Hecate's garden in Colchis. Your herbal creations also serve as an offering to Hecate. Number 8. New moon rituals. The most powerful time to invoke Hecate in ritual is during the dark moon. Healing, banishing, and cleansing rituals in Hecate's name are especially powerful during the dark moon. Divination, especially for speaking to Hecate, is amplified during the dark moon. Number 9. Spirit work in the cemetery. Because she is the goddess of life and death, she is also the protector and gatekeeper of the spirit realm. Her presence is felt in cemeteries, as well as in birthing centers and hospitals. If you are courageous enough and know how to protect yourself, doing spirit work in the cemetery is another way to honor Hecate. But be careful. This is not a practice for beginners or fun-loving people. The cemetery contains many kinds of spirits, and while it is Hecate's territory, she will not ward off spirits for those who disrespect the dead. Number 10. Doorstep offerings. In ancient times, devotees of Hecate would leave offerings for her and her dogs outside their door. You can honor Hecate and her dogs by doing the same. Leave an offering for Hecate and one of her dogs. It's okay to leave it outside overnight. Remove it in the morning. You can bury the leftovers or put them in compost if it's compostable. Number 11. Find the dog star. This is something fun to do in honor of Hecate. Locate the dog star Sirius in the night sky. Use a mobile app like Skyview to locate Sirius. And if you can see it with the naked eye, stare at it for a while. Feel the energy of Hecate coming down from the night sky and pulsating through your veins. The star Sirius is her sacred star. Draw a picture of Sirius somewhere on your body in honor of the goddess. Number 12. Work with your allies. By working with and getting to know the allies of the Witch Queen, you honor her. Study and invoke any or all of the following: Medea, Ceres, Cybele, Artemis, Diana, Persephone, Demeter, and Dionysus. You are not cheating Hecate by working with other deities, especially if they are near and dear to the Queen of Witches. Number 13. Things to do on the 13th. The sacred number of the goddess of witchcraft is 13. If you want to honor her, perform rituals in 13 steps. Offer 13 flowers to her. Make elaborate offerings or perform rituals in her name on the 13th of every month. Say your prayers 13 times, etc. I have found that educating people about the sacredness of the number 13 is a simple way to please the goddess. When people say that the number 13 is unlucky or bad, I remind them that there are 13 lunar phases in a year, and our ancient ancestors worked on lunar calendars before our modern calendar. Also, women have 13 menstrual cycles in a year that sync up with the 13 lunar phases. Number 14. Menstrual magic. Hecate is the goddess of the life, death, rebirth cycle, which means blood is sacred to her, and blood that comes specifically from a woman's life-giving womb, menstrual blood. Some people may feel awkward working with menstrual blood, and that's okay. If you don't have the courage to do this, consider tracking your menstrual cycle with a bracelet. Or honor Hecate at the beginning of every menstrual cycle. Her presence is strong during this time in a woman's life. Number 15. Divination. The Queen of Witches would not be a queen if she did not practice divination. Almost every witch has her own favorite method. If you have a favorite method, use it to communicate with Hecate. As with my deities, I dedicate a special deck of cards to them. Dedicate a card deck or a bag of charms to speak directly to Hecate, and only Hecate. You will see how powerful your sessions with her become. It gives you a way to ask her questions directly and have her answer directly, making sacred tea in her honor. Ingredients: black tea 1 teaspoon, peppermint half a teaspoon, lavender 1/4 of a teaspoon, honey 8 ounces, hot water. Pour the hot water over the loose leaf ingredients and let it boil for 5 to 7 minutes, depending on how strong you like your tea. Strain out the tea leaves. Add a small slice of fresh pomegranate, optional, and the honey. Hold the teacup in the air and say the following chant, or make up your own chant. O Hecate, Mother of Witches, enjoy this tea with me. I drink your ancient wisdom and glory. Walk with me always and forever. Leave the teacup for Hecate as a special offering on her altar, and have a cup yourself.